In the wacky world of RPGs, Chrono Trigger may be the GOAT. And even after 30 years, this game still has modern RPGs eating its pixelated dust. Today, we're diving headfirst into the Chrono series, so grab your time travel goggles as we break down every Chrono game and find out where the series is now. Our adventure kicks off in 1995 with Chrono Trigger, which was created by Squaresoft, bursting onto the Super Nintendo. This bad boy was cooked up by what Squaresoft called the Dream Team. We've got Hironobu Sakaguchi, the creator of Final Fantasy, Yuji Horii, the creator of Dragon Quest, and Akira Toriyama, the creator of Dragon Ball. Most of the story was written by Masato Kato, known for games like Xenogears, Chrono Cross, and Final Fantasy XI. The squad also included Takashi Tokeda, known for games like Live Alive and Parasite Eve. We've also got Yoshinori Kitase, the Final Fantasy maestro, and Kazuhiko Aoki, the mastermind who assembled this entire crew. Then, there's the music by Yatsunori Mitsuda and Nobuo Uematsu, and let's just say that Chrono Trigger won the Best Music in a Cartridge-Based Game Award in Electronic Gaming Monthly's Video Game Awards. But there's many other members that work together to create this masterpiece of a game.
Okay! Yay! Woo! Oniki! Minna, notteru ka?
In 1996, a 16-minute Chrono Trigger anime was shown at the V-Jump Festival to promote the game. But it was not about the main characters, although spoilers, they can be seen in some scenes. In the game, Chrono and Marle watch Luca and her father demonstrate her new teleporter at the Millennium Fair. Marle volunteers to be teleported, but her pendant interferes with the device and creates a time portal into which she is drawn. Chrono and Luca go back in time to find her and end up in a time-traveling adventure that leads the entire team to stop the destruction of the world. The game has an active time battle system, so you can't just sit there picking your nose. Characters also do special moves together, making the game much more interesting when fighting enemies. There are 7 playable characters, including a frog with a sword. His name, Frog. Another cool feature that the game offers is a variety of endings and events that are based on the choices that you make throughout the game. This allowed players to come back and replay the game to uncover all of the different outcomes. There's also a special Dream Team ending called The Dream Project. This is where you can speak to the developers. It is the hardest ending to achieve. Chrono Trigger is basically gaming royalty. It sold over 3.5 million copies, has a fan base that would fight a dragon to defend its legacy, and has re-releases on several other platforms. The Square team even created a side story called Radical Dreamers. Radical Dreamers is a text-based visual novel adventure game that was released in 1996. The only problem is that it was exclusively in Japan for the Satellaview add-on for the Super Famicom. That add-on allowed you to download games, magazines, special content, and more. Radical Dreamers forms part of the Chrono series, acting as a side story or alternate universe to Chrono Trigger. However, it is considered non-canonical in the Chrono series because of the limited release and different gameplay style. Radical Dreamers is an alternate universe tale starring Surge, Kid, and Gil as they chase the frozen flame like it's the last slice of pizza. These three players also end up in the next game, Chrono Cross.
A young boy caught in a struggle between good and evil must fight for his existence between two worlds. The key to the future lies in the past. Destiny has but one soul. Rated T for teen.
Chrono Cross dropped in 1999 on the PlayStation. It is a spiritual successor in the same universe but a different world. It follows Surge, a kid who stumbles onto a parallel reality. Surge is also after the frozen flame because apparently it is the holy grail of plot devices. The frozen flame is actually a piece of Lavos, the final boss in Chrono Trigger. Surge enters an alternate reality where he dies as a child, and with the help of his friends that he meets throughout the game, he tries to uncover the truth of both realities. The game features turn-based combat with a stamina system that allows characters to perform various actions based on their stamina points. Elements play a crucial role in battles, with different elements affecting character abilities and weaknesses. There are 45 playable characters, each with their own backstory. In true Chrono fashion, Chrono Cross has 11 endings, so you can always go back and try another. Chrono Cross shipped 1.5 million copies by 2003, earning a Greatest Hits badge and a VIP spot in Japan's Ultimate Hits Club. In 2022, Square re-released the game and called it Chrono Cross: The Radical Dreamers Edition for the PS4, the Xbox, and PC. This version of Chrono Cross brought visual updates, more language translation, new character portraits, high-definition fonts, a background filter, and a battle enhancement feature that made combat much easier. It also included the original 1996 text-based adventure game Radical Dreamers. There is also a toggle for enemy encounters because who has time for random battles? And a polished Mitsuda soundtrack. All of these enhancements can be turned off at any time, allowing you to play the game in its original form. The game has sold over 800,000 copies. Masato Kato wrote and directed a game called Another Eden: The Cat Beyond Time and Space. Another Eden is a free-to-play RPG that was developed by Right Flyer Studios and released in 2017 on Android and iOS mobile devices. It involves time travel elements where players explore different points in time. Sound familiar? In December 9th of 2021, Another Eden dropped a crossover with Chrono Cross called Complex Dream, where you meet and get to play with a few characters in Chrono Cross. But where is Chrono Trigger 2, or Chrono Cross 2, or Chrono 3? In 2001, Square trademarked Chrono Break. Hironobu Sakaguchi hinted that the Chrono Cross crew, which was led by Masato Kato, was itching to make it happen. But it never got off the ground. Not only that, the trademark expired in 2003. This was mainly because they could not get the team back together, as half the team was busy with Final Fantasy XI or had left the company. In an interview with IGN, Takashi Tokada was asked, "Is there any chance that we'll ever see another Chrono Trigger game?" Tokada said, quote, "There was actually a time where I planned a new title called Chrono Break. Though it was cancelled before accomplishing anything, the overall idea for the title was carried over to my latest game, Final Fantasy Dimensions 2, unquote. Final Fantasy Dimensions 2 does revolve around traveling through time in order to save the world, but is it as good as Chrono Trigger? Despite the cancellation, fans have created unofficial continuations and concepts for what Chrono Break might have looked like. For example, in 2018, Simon Anderson, who created the game Owlboy, gave us one example of just how nice a Chrono Break could have been. Back in 1999, a developer named Nathan Lasser planned to have a remake of Chrono Trigger. Nathan wanted the game to be playable in two different modes, a 2D mode with enhanced graphics and a 3D mode. The project was named CT64, otherwise known as Chrono Trigger 64, because it would have been released on the Nintendo 64. But after feeling that he needed more experience in development, he put the project on hold and started working with DC Studios, the makers of the Bratz games. After 3 years and some downtime due to health issues, he reopened the Chrono Trigger project. With his new skills and a team behind him, he decided to make 10 scenes for the game and eventually changed the name to Chrono Resurrection. They were able to get about 6 scenes of the game completed, but unfortunately, in 2004, he received a cease and desist letter from the Square team asking him to stop the project. Chrono Resurrection was forcibly cancelled, and we are now stuck with only having footage released throughout the years of what could have been. A huge missed opportunity from Square, who could have simply just hired him and his team to bring us another masterpiece. In the past few years, remakes have become a big part of gaming, and the success of many franchises returning should be more than enough reason for Square to realize just how important a Chrono Trigger remake would be. Square has been remaking games left and right, with recent entries like Visions of Mana, Dragon Quest, Final Fantasy VII, and more. But what about recently? On February 2024, in a podcast called My Perfect Console with Simon Parkin, Yoshinori Kitase himself asked Simon via an interpreter about what approach should the Chrono Trigger remake have.
逆に質問したいんですけど。
So Kitase-san has a question for you, Simon. So, Chrono Trigger, the title that you mentioned, is also a title that I've worked on, that I know, fans love to this day. And, I also like this game personally. But if players are to play this game today, what would be sort of the most favorable way in which it is presented? Would it be something that's just directly, as is from before on a modern platform console? Or is it something that where the graphics are remastered? Or is it something like Final Fantasy VII Remake where, the game design visuals are completely revamped and updated to meet the modern trends?
This is above my pay grade.
This is definitely a sign that they are thinking of what the fans would like best. and at the very least must already be working on a game, because why else would this even be a question? Just recently, in the 2025 Napoli Comic-Con, it was rumored that Yuji Horii leaked the existence of a Chrono Trigger remake. This was later confirmed not to be true with video footage of the entire interview. However, he did in fact confirm in an interview with Game Reactor that he is contemplating on making a remake, perhaps in the style of HD 2D.
All right, it's Chrono Trigger's 30th anniversary, so happy anniversary. What can you tell us?
Yes, I want to do something. Currently, Dragon Quest has seen 3, 1 and 2 remakes. I get a lot of requests for the remake of Chrono Trigger as well, and so I am starting to contemplate on it.
Chrono Trigger, it's on its way back after 30 years. We cannot do this video without showing love to other projects. So, we have to talk about Chrono Trigger Crimson Echoes. Crimson Echoes is a fan-made game that was developed by Kajar Laboratories, which is primarily consisting of members of the Chrono Compendium fan site. This game is what you call a ROM hack of the original Chrono Trigger and was in development between 2004 to 2009. It was made as an unofficial installment in the Chrono series and is set between the events of Chrono Trigger and Chrono Cross. Crimson Echoes is based 5 years after the events of Chrono Trigger and features all the playable characters from the original game. 98% of the game was completed with 23 story chapters, over 35 hours of playtime, and 10 alternate endings. Weeks before its release, Square felt legally obligated to send the developers a cease and desist letter, which led to the cancellation of the entire project. Since then, other fans worked on the game and made changes that allowed the game to be played from beginning to end. That game is now known as Flames of Eternity. In 2007, Kajar Laboratories also made Chrono Trigger Prophet's Guile. It follows the story of Magus and his rise to power in the Kingdom of Zeal. There are obviously many more hacks and fan-made games throughout the years, and this shows just how much the series is loved and how important it truly is. Before we go, here are some more fan concepts. So what do you think? Should Chrono Trigger stage a comeback, a port, a remaster, or a full-on remake? Is Chrono Trigger the greatest RPG of all time? Let us know.